Akushu Kote Tori. This is different from Akushu Kote Tori. This is the 18th technique on the OR list as opposed to the other, which is the 16th. I highly recommend you watch the other video, Akushu Kote Tori, first in order to save time and use this efficiently. I'm not going to repeat a lot of the same things because there's some overlap. I'm not going to go over the vocabulary. I'm not going to show repetitive techniques if I can help it. Akushu Kote Maki Tori traditionally is from a handshake, although we do it from an overhead strike. Also, we do not practice the traditional version as one of our variations of this technique, but it is our variation for Akushu Kote Tori. So the traditional version of Akushu Kote Maki Tori is our current variation of Akushu Kote Tori. That's already in the other video, so if you're looking for the traditional version of this technique, see that video instead. What I'm going to show is our current version of Akushu Kote Maki Tori and our variation. Akushu Kote Maki Tori, as I said, is, even though Akushu is handshake, we're practicing this from an overhead strike. One of the mistakes that I see when people try to defend themselves from that overhead strike is trying to grab the arm as it's coming down. I'm not grabbing, I'm just going to block. And I imagine I'm making a roof over my head. Generally, people protect themselves, they keep their elbows in and the arms up. This is good for protecting strikes coming from around or even from in front, but this is an overhead strike, so I need more of an angle. And I think of it as making a roof over my head, and I'm going to catch an overhead strike on the respective side. Now that overhead strike, these two different variations are going to be catching that strike at two different points of motion. On the first one, you're going to catch it before the hand starts coming down, and on the second one, it's after the head's coming down. So did I get in early or did I get it late? Ideally, if you see someone raising their hand to strike you, particularly if there's a weapon in their hand, don't wait for it to start coming down again. If that hand comes up, just go in and attack the arm. That's what this first technique is. Someone raises their arm to strike you, and before it even comes down again, you go in and attack that arm. Now, even in our basic blocks, even when I'm not stepping forward to attack the arm, I'm not just holding my arm up to block. I'm attacking the arm with my blocking arm. Same idea when that arm comes up, I step in and I do an attacking block, forearm to forearm. I'm not going to explain how I made this. It's in the other video if you want to know how to make this, but I'm making this for the purposes of the video to show an arm attacking me. You can see this is the elbow joint, forearm, and the upper arm. This arm's coming down to strike me. When it raises up, I hit on the way in. My other arm is going to come underneath the tricep, all the way underneath the tricep, and then I'm going to grab the forearm from underneath. I'm also going to wrap both of my thumbs around at this point so I have a hold on that forearm. I'm going to step through with my inside leg and pull down. They go up to strike like this, you catch them early, and you take them backwards. The strike comes in, I block, my inside arm comes underneath their tricep, wraps all the way around, grabbing the forearm from the far side. I open my thumbs up to wrap around that arm so I get a nice hold, and then I pull down as I step through with my inside leg. Block, wrap underneath, grab the forearm using the thumbs, step through, and pull down. On the other side, arms coming down, I block, inside arms coming all the way under the tricep, wrapping around to catch the forearm from the other side. Open my thumbs to wrap around the arm to get a hold, stepping through with the inside arm as I snap the arm down. That's our current technique. There is a variation of this that we no longer do, which is very similar, but instead of going under the arm, you're going to go over the arm. One of the things I like about the one going over is as I'm going over, I've got a nice little elbow strike to the face. Same thing, arms coming up, you're catching it before it starts coming down. It's coming down, I block. Instead of going underneath the arm, I go over the arm, and I grab my own forearm from behind their forearm. So making a figure four. I go over their bicep, come around behind their forearm, grabbing my own forearm. Again, making sure to open my hand to use that thumb around the arm, block, and pull down as I step through. Block, going over the arm, wrapping around my own arm, stepping through, and breaking. Now, why are there two versions of this? For two different heights. If I am shorter than the person attacking me, I want to go under the arm. If I'm taller than the person attacking me, I want to go over the arm. I'll leave it to you to decide why we picked one over the other, but the version that we currently practice is under, but it's also a good variation to go over depending on your relative height. Now, our variation, it incorporates the traditional version of Akushu Kote Tori, which is why you should see the first video that shows that technique. But there's going to be more to it. I'm not doing it just from a handshake, it's from an overhead strike, and it's late. This time I didn't catch it before it started coming down. It's already coming down at me. Still going to have those arms up. I don't want to stop their motion though. I'm not trying to stop them from hitting me. I'm stop them from their arm from moving forward. I'm trying to keep it from hitting my head and redirecting it. So as that arm comes down, I meet it with my arm, and then my opposite leg makes a semicircle away from it to get out of the way. So on this side, arm up to block, opposite leg making a circular motion to get out of the way. If that's all you do, I would consider that a successful technique. You're not getting hit in the head, you're getting offline of the strike, it's passing in front of you. The next step for this, and this is where I see a lot of people trying to grab the hand. This is really hard to get. You want to end up holding the hand, but it's not because I'm grabbing it out of the air and holding it. I'm redirecting it until it runs out of power, and at the end I'm going to grab it. So instead of trying to grab that hand in the air and get control of it, you can make a fist. You're still just blocking. I don't need my hands to grab with. And I'm going to fade out of the way. This back arm, the one that's not making contact, I will open my hand and put it right at my hip. The inside hand is directing their striking arm down to my other hand. By the time it gets there, they have completely extended their motion and it's almost out of power. So I can actually get a hold of the hand here. And that's where I'm trying to redirect it. My hands go up, redirect, and then catch. At this point, it's very much like deep chest push, Kote Tori. Getting offline, redirecting that hand, catching it on my hip. At this point, I don't just stop though, I keep that circle going a little bit further. What I'm looking for is, they think their motion is going to stop here when they make contact. By getting out of the way, they overextend themselves, run out of energy, and now their arm's fully extended. And then I'm going to add a little pressure to the back of that elbow to make them take another step forward to try to avoid getting their arm popped. So I fade, catch, and then use, at this point, their elbows against my rib cage and have control of their hand. I'm going to pull it around my ribs to make them take a little extra step forward. At that point, I'm going to do the traditional version of Akushu Kote Tori. Kote Gaesh, turn the hand back. I go underneath the arm, grabbing from the far side and pulling down. I'm not going to go into all the nuances of that because I've already showed it in the Akushu Kote Tori video, so watch that. But this is how it comes together. I'm going to set it up with that parrying block, getting offline, catching the hand, making them take a little step forward, back with Kote Gaesh, underneath and grab, and break. Akushu Kote Tori.